From a mother saving her daughter from a serious fall down a flight of stairs, to an elephant managing to climb over a fence, check out today's video footage that no one would have believed had it not been filmed. On the night of November 16, 2017, a mind-boggling phenomenon occurred in Finland, and more precisely in Lapland. Indeed, a local resident called Tony Baderman had the good idea to let his camera run in order to film the northern lights. But instead, the man immortalized an extraordinary moment, and for a good reason. In the video, we can see the sky light up for about 5 seconds in the middle of the night. What is, to say the least, extraordinary. But then, how is this possible, you might ask? Well, Tony Baderman stated that at the time of the facts, around 6:40 p.m., he was sitting in his house when he heard a deafening noise. Intrigued, he then viewed the images from his camera, and it is there that he realized that the strange illumination of the sky would probably have been caused by a celestial object, which would have crashed not far from his cottage. Moreover, this is what the physicist J.K. Maniman also assured. According to him, it was probably a meteor, a rather large rock, that would have caused this phenomenon. However, the specialist does not exclude the possibility that it could also be space debris, such as a part of a broken satellite. In any case, according to the Norwegian Meteorite Network, the celestial body, one of the most radiant ever observed, shone with the brilliance of 100 full moons, which is, let's face it, truly incredible. It is well known that the tiger is a dangerous predator that can consume up to 6 kilos of meat per day. As a general rule, it is better to stay away from such a wild animal, and this is also true for other animals, and mainly for birds, except that it happens sometimes that the tiger, as massive and imposing as it can be, is also a coward. The proof is in this unusual video sequence. As you can see, a tiger was walking like a lord of the jungle in front of children who came to observe him. But against all expectations, the animal lost its superb in just 1 second. The reason? Well, a small bird suddenly flew at him without warning. At this moment, the tiger, taking of panic, went down immediately, but the bird was visibly as frightened by the reaction of the tiger and therefore preferred to flee without further delay. After that, the feline stopped acting proud, while the visitors of the zoo could not help but laugh after having witnessed this quite comical scene. The tiger chose to keep a low profile before sitting down as if nothing had happened. Just goes to show even the most fearsome predators can have a few scares. In the building of the construction company Constructora Monserrati in Medellin, Colombia, a drama was narrowly avoided. Indeed, while a woman was talking on the phone, probably to find her way back, it was almost the end of her child. And for good reason. The latter ventured a little too close to the bars of a stairwell. Then, what was supposed to happen, happened, and the child tripped over into the void. Fortunately, the mother soon realized that her child was taking a terrible fall. It was then that she had the incredible reflex to catch him in extremis by the foot. At that moment, several witnesses of the scene came to help the mother to pull up her child, who came out of it unharmed, but certainly in a state of shock. However, as one could expect, the images of video surveillance, once diffused on the social networks, caused various reactions. Yes, because if many internet users have praised the courage and composure of the mother, others have not hesitated to criticize the company Constructora Monserrati. And it is not wrong, because the railing of the staircase did not have bars. In any case, it is hoped that the company has since put in place safety devices to prevent such an incident from happening again. Elephants have long been known for their intelligence, but what is less well known is that they are also particularly good at solving complex problems. The proof? Well, Nagarhole National Park, located in the state of Karnataka, India, an elephant encountered an obstacle that at first glance seemed insurmountable for such an imposing animal. However, this pachyderm seems to have more than one trick up its sleeve. Once in front of the iron fence, which is supposed to prevent animals from crossing it, the elephant did not use its stoutness to force it. Instead, he decided to climb over it. No, you're not dreaming. Of course, the task was not easy, especially since the barrier was quite high. Nevertheless, after some efforts, the animal finally managed to cross it before continuing its way quietly on the other side. Not surprisingly, this video sequence, which has gone viral, has astonished a good number of internet users on social networks, and we understand why. This elephant is quite a remarkable creativity. Playing billiards requires certain essential skills that are not given to everyone. It is indeed a complex game that requires a lot of flexibility, skill, and precision. To hope to win, you need to have several skills and especially experience. However, as strange as it may seem, a dog seems to have developed a particular gift when it comes to playing pool. Indeed, the pet manages to systematically place the balls one by one in the holes with an impressive technique. Of course, to achieve this, the dog, called Halo, uses only its front legs, since it would be unimaginable for it to hold a pool cue. Despite this, we must admit that this dog plays like a real professional. With his delicate paw strokes and his ability to aim, well, this animal is undoubtedly gifted. It is not without reason that he quickly became a star on social networks. After all, it's not every day that you can see a dog playing pool. In the streets of Baksalar district, located in the west of Istanbul, Turkey, a man was walking his dog when he lived an improbable experience. Indeed, the latter was attacked by a cat, and not just any cat. It was a particularly ferocious feline. As we can see in the images captured by a surveillance camera, the cat was determined to defend its territory. Faced with such a situation, the walker obviously tried to flee, but it was too late because the animal had already jumped in his direction. At that moment, the man understood very quickly that the cat was actually trying to attack his dog. So as soon as the little feline climbed on his back, he desperately tried to protect his pet by holding him up, which was very complicated. Why? Simply because the cat refused to let go. Even after being sent to the ground, he returned several times to the charge, even going as far as attacking the neck of his victim, who, by dint of struggling, almost lost his pants. Dodging all the assaults of the evil cat, the unfortunate man barely had time to put them back on. Fortunately, this incident ended a few seconds later when passers-by came to the rescue of the poor man, who nevertheless managed to protect his dog from this terrifying attack. However, it is necessary to believe that he had a narrow escape. If a trip to Mars is out of your reach, the Dalal site located in the Danakil Desert, northeast of Ethiopia, could very well do the trick. And it is not without reason. This volcanic site is in fact the most inhospitable on Earth. With hundreds of hot springs, gaseous geysers, fiery chimneys, acidic lakes, and mountains of salt and sulfur, this unique place in the world combines the most extreme conditions. And that's the least we can say, especially since the temperature of Dalal is around 35 Celsius and easily exceeds 45 Celsius. However, if this site surprises the scientists and the rare visitors who venture there, it is especially thanks to its landscapes, which are of the most spectacular in the world. The colors that we find there are indeed as strange as unreal. They go notably from red ochre to yellow, passing by a fluorescent green or white. What gives the impression to tread another planet so much this vast partially liquid extent is disconcerting. This explains why lovers of unusual landscapes, and more particularly those who are looking for a trip with an extraterrestrial allure, do not fail to visit this extraordinary site, accessible to the public since 2001. In Kalimantan, on the island of Borneo, Indonesia, a man who had put his phone up for sale found himself in a situation as delicate as it was unusual. Indeed, after having found a buyer online, he decided to give him an appointment. So far, so good. But very quickly, certain details began to alert the seller. First of all, the person wishing to acquire his device remained anonymous. Then, the latter preferred to fix their meeting at midnight. A late enough hour to intrigue the Indonesian. Nevertheless, the man preferred to proceed with the sale. So, when his buyer arrived on the scene, he strangely left the engine of his motorcycle on during the transaction. As a result, the sale was completed in a very short time. The money he had just given him was made up of hand-drawn bills in red marker. No, this is not a joke. Desperate, the man had no choice but to contact the police in the hope of finding the thief, who obviously thought of everything to scam him. Today, it is not known if the thief was arrested by the local authorities. In any case, one thing is sure. This unique event has quickly made the tour of the Indonesian media. In the garden of her house located in the city of Invergrove Heights, Minnesota, the American Katie Morlock decided to put a bowl containing a pear before looking at which small animal would come to seize it. And it is finally a squirrel, which approached first to steal the pear. It was a bad idea, and for good reason. He had just tasted a fruit a little too ripe. Indeed, the woman had not realized that the pear had fermented and therefore did not hesitate to let the squirrel enjoy it. But an hour later, the poor animal appeared in a rather advanced state of drunkenness. As you can see in this video, the squirrel was slowly tilting backwards several times with a blank stare. This worried Katie Morlock, who hastened to remove the pears that she had previously scattered all over the garden. As for the squirrel, he came back the next day with a little hangover to taste, this time some seeds. However, we must admit that this is a very surprising scene. Moreover, it was even a huge success with the American media. In a park in Bangkok, Thailand, a young woman named Sawit was feeding sea turtles without imagining that this moment could be interrupted in any way. However, a huge monitor, aware that a hearty lunch was on the menu, was calmly walking towards her. After a few seconds, the big lizard suddenly lunged at the turtles to grab the food, but in vain. While the young woman, both surprised and terrified, had immediately fled, the reptile tried his luck again, and on this occasion he probably succeeded. It must be said that Sawit was very lucky, because although the monitor rarely attacks human beings, it is no less harmless. Now it's your turn to tell us in the comments which of these video sequences surprised you the most. Do you know of other such strange scenes? Don't hesitate to share them with us, and if you like this video, don't forget to leave a like, to subscribe to the channel, and to activate the bell to receive all the notifications and not miss anything of our next videos. See you tomorrow, same time, same channel for a new video.